I'll never forget, just a matter of weeks after 9/11 hit, being right here at Bulldog Stadium, California State University, Fresno, when something else hit. Billy Graham. A Billy Graham crusade came to our city, and thousands were swept into the kingdom in the wake of 9/11. That was an amazing moment. But can you imagine being here or anywhere else Billy Graham offered a crusade, and you saw, unbelievable sight, saw with your own eyes, no one less than Mrs. Billy Graham, wife of the most famous evangelist of our lifetime, coming forward as they were singing, "Just as I am, without one plea," to accept Jesus. Ridiculous? How do you know? Billy Graham, evangelist, hello? Would he let no one less than his wife slip by, someone he literally lived with, without making sure she was not only born, but born again? Not going to happen. Dave Wainscott. Here's an installment of Before They Were Saints, about Ruth Bell Graham. Mrs. Billy Graham. Mrs. Billy Graham cannot remember when she became a saint. She made her plea just as one plea, but she doesn't remember when she said it. She grew up, unlike me, in a deep Christian family on the mission field, and she doesn't even know when she accepted Jesus. She just knows that she knows. Her parents, solid missionaries in China. She might have been 2, 3, 4 years old. But Billy and Ruth know where she is today. August 2007, just a few years after Billy was here, she graduated and is with Jesus. My wife grew up in Wheaton, Illinois, the home of the Billy Graham Center. In fact, where Mr. and Mrs. Billy Graham met, fell in love, and a lot of their ministry was home-based out of Wheaton, Illinois, home to many Christian institutions as well. My wife accepted Jesus at age 4 at a Christian preschool in Wheaton, Illinois, and I tease her she hasn't sinned since. My testimony is the opposite, like Billy's. Came to Jesus in a more radical, classic conversion, we say, in our early 20s, after a life of rebellion and lostness. But you know, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of degree. That's everyone's story. But maybe the focus today on Before They Were Saints is to realize how we need to celebrate those whom God didn't have to hit over the head with a 2x4, like me, and celebrate those God just was able to reach at a tender age, like Ruth Bell. And so today we pause just to give thanks and throw out the challenge as we continue this series, remembering amazing stories of before famous and infamous people were saints. But Ruth Bell Graham, my wife, some of you, unlike those who came to Christ in a dramatic fashion here or elsewhere where Billy Graham preached, can't remember before you were saints. So the glory goes to God, and the credit goes to those of you tender enough to make that plea